And the history starts, as so much of Canadian history does, with the coming of the railroad.
There was a time in this fair land when the railroad did not run. Then the wild, majestic mountains stood alone against the sun. Long before the white man...
In our case, it was the Grand Trunk Railway, which came through Campbellford around 1880.
To be real. But time has no beginning.
Here's a map of Campbellford at that period, and you can just see the original plan for the railroad line. The line was called the junction of the Grand Trunk. It went across town streets, through the market, and then crossed the river on a curved bridge, for which no photos appear to exist. The curve goes through original township lots 24 and 25. Then in 1899, because the original lines went all across the streets of the town, they changed it. And they deviated it straight down one street, across some fields, across the river, and then out of town, across where Canada Tire is. The original line, as you can see, was kept as a spur. And at the bottom of that spur, right at the river, was a lumber mill. And the lumber mill, which was on the original lots 24 and 25, is where our house ended up.
Someday we'll build a home on a hilltop high, you and I, shiny and new, a cottage that two can fill. And we'll be pleased to be called the folks who live on the hill.
If we look at the surveyor's plans, we can see that the house is built on, you guessed it, lots 24 and 25. The south block is actually our day room added on. And also you can see that the original old Caddy Street, which dates back to the beginning, is still there. And now for the grand tour, starting on the outside. And here's the garden that Margaret toils over so lovingly. The close-up. A good year for flowers this one. Here's a by now familiar view. You can see the car deck, and tucked under the car deck is the day room. At the back of that, the added section. Here's a bit of a close-up. You can see the wheelchair ramp built for the father that never came. And around the corner at the back of the house, the steps up to our sun deck and kitchen doorway. Here's the sun deck. Oh, we got a party going on here. There's Brian and me and Margaret. And I guess Conwell's taking the picture. Sun deck itself has a beautiful view. There's the view across the river. And it has its share of wildlife. Here are the Canada geese, which go up and down the river, and if you dare shout to them, immediately make their way over to you. More wildlife on the railings, our friendly doves. Also perch on the high wall which separates us from next door. More wildlife. This is a guy who was underneath the front wheelchair ramp. Hadn't seen him for a few years, but he was there for a while and kind of did exploratory tricks across our driveway and across the grass to the house next door. This little critter is the newest addition to our family. He actually appeared in the winter, but this summer has become incredibly friendly, and he'll scrounge for peanuts as long as you keep feeding them to him. Now let's go to winter. Yeah, we have winters here, don't we? Here's one. Here's the front of the house, covered in a reasonable layer of snow. These shots I think from the winter of '07, which was a really bad one. Here's the carport and a car inside. The driveway is cleared, but as you'll see, it takes some clearing. The little path which I dug down to our composter in the corner of the backyard. And here on a lovely first thing in the morning, no shoveling, but you notice they've already done the street, so there's a pile of snow out there. An hour or so later, I've started to carve, and there's a lot of snow. But it's good upper body exercise, as long as I can keep doing it. And here we are, about a third done. It's 20 below outside right now, and the ice is gradually creeping up the river. It's almost at our house now, as you can see. Gradually being built up by almost invisible sheets of ice, which will come down river and just jam up against the existing ice. So the whole effect is quite amazing. There it is, sea of ice. And it's, yes, the glance sideways at the thermometer shows it's minus 21 Celsius. Okay, the front hall. The door right there is access to the wheelchair ramp outside, of course. The hallway leads down past some school photographs to my bathroom, straight ahead, which we'll come to in due time, and then around the corner a coat rack, which was made actually by Margaret's father. The interior door to the right in this picture leads into our living room. The movies made, of course, were done with a digital camera, not with a real movie camera, so they're limited and they don't have much control over variations in light or focus, but it gives you some idea. There's my little audio corner. That's it. A lot of CDs, an enormous number of good old-fashioned vinyls. And here's Chuck's corner. Bless him. Even though he's no longer with us, he'll always be a part of the house. Close-up of the nice fireplace, and the door that you see just to the right of center leads to the day room. Yes, it's been renovated, and here's a kind of a picture of it before the renovation. And the renovation starts. First of all the junk gets moved out into the living room, including the table and covered in stuff, before the real horror starts. I hate renovations, but here it is being taken apart. The biggest alteration that was actually made was that the drop-down ceiling was removed, and it heightened the ceiling by at least a foot. We also had floor tiles redone, a lot of other things. And afterwards, it's a brand new kitchen. The dining room's a gem, and of course it has that beautiful open window view of the sun deck and the river. formerly in the old house a maid's room. The bathroom was built for the missing father, and of course it's a wheelchair bathroom, which I glommed onto simply because I hate baths, and this has a beautiful shower. Okay, quick run upstairs now, and here we are on the upstairs landing. You can see various doors leading to various places. Let's start off with the door to my movie room and the bookcase. The bookcase was my mother's, and as a small child, 12, I remember I used to go into her books and search for all the sexy parts. I remember the first sex scene I read, I think, was from John O'Hara's Appointment in Samara. Looking down towards my den, come office, and here we are. Not much to say about this. It's actually looking fairly tidy. Spruced up for the movie. There's a storage cupboard, and again a bureau that again belonged to my mother. Here we are now in the guest room. 2 beds and another collection of books. You'll notice this house is not short of books.
You must remember this, a kiss is just a kiss, a sigh is just a sigh. The fundamental things apply as time goes by.
And here we are in Margaret's office. And Margaret's bookcase. More books, more pictures. Still more books and more pictures. Margaret has a nice view. There's Margaret's view of the river from the window by her desk. And now we come to the bathroom. This is a before shot of the bathroom. It had nothing really there except a toilet and a sink. Now here it is after. Notice the extension. This is Margaret's design and beautifully done. Took a long time, but it's there, and a lovely bath with lots of handles for old folks to hang on to. And there now, in place of the no washstand at all, we have a nice one with a cupboard underneath it. And here we are, master bedroom. This is Margaret's side. That's Bob's side with I like to watch TV in bed. Actually, I like to watch movies. This is not connected to TV. I just watch movies. There's Margaret's beautiful clothes closet. Again, designed by Margaret. This was all built after we bought the house. And now a movie that shows you the whole thing, starting at Margaret's side, across the bed. Now, notice this one was taken before I put in the TV set, so a little bit of history there. And around we go, and we look out, both those windows look out onto the river. And now downstairs again we go to visit and wait for it. We call it a cellar because in our house, since it's built on solid bedrock, there's really not much you can do downstairs in the way of turning it into a real basement. This door leads to our garden shed. That's about it. That's our house. I hope you enjoyed the tour.